hack my Twitter and shit. This shit's so crazy.
Hey, yo, Marcus!
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Galaxy. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I've never actually done a story time on my channel before, but I think for the sake of this, I'm going to do a story time today. I've always wanted to upload this story time, but I've never actually gotten to it because originally the plan is to always get Ashika Island content or Warzone 2 content during the stream so I don't have to make a video. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to get any content that's worthy enough to put into a video. So I've decided to come do the story time that I've been wanting to tell you guys for a while now. Alright, so to give you guys a little bit of background, this starts off, I was in high school and I was with my best friend at the time. We were both in high school. We were about sophomores in high school. So we're both on the basketball team, right? We both play basketball in high school. We're on the basketball team. And it's like during basketball season, it's winter months. And during this basketball season, me and my boy would always be hanging out after school. Like, we would go to school and then go to practice, and then we would be hanging out after school as well. And I don't really know why, but for some reason, like, me and him, we both, like, really fell in love with riding scooters at the time. Like, we fell in love with, like, trying to, like, do tricks on scooters and stuff like that. So we would always be out, like, just trying to find new places to ride scooters. And I don't mean just like cruise. Well, obviously we like to just cruise on scooters, but I mean like real actual scooters that you could do like tail whips and 360s on and like jump stairs and stuff like that. We used to like to do all these crazy jumps. Of course, it was never really anything too crazy, but like to us it seemed crazy. So anyway, I remember we're out this one specific night and we're riding our scooters together. And like, I guess we were just bored or something, but my friend got the idea that we should like go to the school to like shoot basketball, right? Because at the high school that we went to, like, we used to always go play pickup basketball because the headmaster's kid went to school and he was also on the basketball team. So there was usually always people in there shooting basketball or a key to get in or something like that. So we thought we could just go over there and kind of like get into the school and go shoot basketball. Well, we got done riding scooters and we were going to head over to the school and shoot basketball. When we got there, nobody else was there. So, like, we didn't have a way to get in, right? There was no way to get into the school. No keys, nobody else is in, the headmaster's kid's not there, right? There's no way to get in. But then we remembered, at the side of the school, there's a door down on the side, and if you yank it really hard, for whatever, like, I don't know how we knew this, but if you yank it really hard, it just opens. Like, it just opens and the alarm doesn't sound. Like, there was an alarm system, but it didn't sound for that door. It was just specific to that door. It was something that kind of, like, we knew. It was a little cheat, honestly. So, we end up yanking the door open, and we got into the school, right? Like I said earlier, we had just come from riding scooters, so we thought it would be cool to, like, take our scooters into the school, I guess, and ride them around the hallways because we didn't think that anybody had ever done that before, and we just felt cool for doing it. So the first thing we did was rode our scooters through the hallway. I mean, it was pitch black. We didn't know how to turn the lights on, but we were in our school hallway just riding scooters and shit. So then we get tired of that, and we put the scooters up eventually, and we go get some basketballs. So we pull out the basketballs, and we start to shoot and play basketball. Then my best friend remembers. He knows the code to the girls' basketball locker room. Like, obviously, I said we played basketball, so we knew how to get into the boys' basketball locker room, but this man said he knew the code to the girls' basketball locker room. In the boys' locker room, they did have couches, but in the girls' locker room, they had nicer couches. Like, the boys' locker room had couches, but they were disgusting. The girls' locker room had these nice leather red couches, okay? So as soon as he says he knows the code to the girls' locker room, me and him both look at each other and we're like, dude, we could stay the night in the school. Like, we're just thinking, dude, like, we can stay the night here, and that would be so crazy. Like, we'd be the first people to ever stay the night in our high school. So we stopped shooting basketball for a minute, and he goes into the girls' locker room, he types into the code, and he gets in, and sure enough, he does really know it. And so we both get in there, and I think they had a refrigerator. We may have taken a Gatorade or two out of there. I don't even really remember what all we did in there. To be honest, it wasn't a lot. We definitely sat on the couches for a bit and looked around the locker room. Like, we weren't really necessarily looking for anything. Like, we weren't trying to be creeps, but we were kind of really just comparing the locker room to how ours was. We wanted to see, like, how it was compared to ours. So after we look around their locker room for a little bit, we decide to leave and go back to shoot basketball. At this point, it's probably around like 11:30, and we're just in the gym right now shooting basketball. A little bit of time goes by, and I get really thirsty, so I tell my boy, I'm like, yo, I'm about to go grab some water from the water fountain out in the hallway. He's like, all right, bro. So I think I probably threw up like a half-court shot, and then I open the door to to walk out to go to the water fountain. And this is where everything in the whole story goes wrong. So as I'm going to get the water from the water fountain, I hear these alarms start going off. At first I was scared, but then it took me like 3 seconds to realize what was really happening. I had been going to school there the whole time, and I didn't realize that at night there was an alarm system that turns on at midnight. So if you're there before midnight and you're in the hallway or doing whatever before midnight, it's not going to go off on you. So what happens is there's motion sensors in the school hallways that come on at midnight. And I must have just went outside to the water fountain exactly past midnight, and the sensors must have picked my movement up, which caused the alarms to go off. At this point, I'm freaking out. So I run back into the gym and I tell my boy, I'm like, yo, the alarms are going off. The alarms are going off. I'm just screaming it at him. And he's still shooting basketball, so he really has no idea what's going on. After I'm yelling at him for a few seconds, he puts it together and he realizes what's going on. So me and him grabbed the scooters that we had brought in earlier because we thought it would be faster than running it. We got on those scooters and darted it down the hallway as fast as we could towards the exit. At this point, all the alarms are going off. We're headed straight to the exit on our scooters. We're going through the hallway super fast, and it's literally pitch dark. There's no lights in the school. Like I said, we couldn't get the lights to turn on. It seemed like it took forever to hit the exit, but we finally got to the door. As soon as we got to the door, we hit my boy's car, which is what we drove there in. He turned out all the headlights and drove straight to my house because I lived the closest to the school. So we're taking back roads the whole way to my house. His headlights aren't even on. We basically can barely even see because at this point it's probably like 12:30, almost 1 a.m. maybe. We make it to my house, we pull up into my driveway, and we go inside, and my mom's still awake for some reason. Back in the day, my mom used to listen to this police scanner radio on her phone because it like helped her sleep or something. I still don't really understand it, but yeah. So she's listening to it when I walk in the door, and I hear in the background of the police scanner saying that they had movement in a hallway at a high school, like the high school that I went to. So I'm hearing this on the police scanner, right? Realizing that they're talking about me and my friend, and my mom is hearing this in the background. Earlier that day, I had told her I was going to a friend's house to stay the night, but I totally lied. I think at this point, she was starting to put 2 and 2 together and realize what was going on. And she just gave me that look. Like, she stood there and gave me that look, and I just felt it. Like, I felt it. I had this feeling, and I felt like I had to tell her what happened. So I'm standing there, and I start to explain to her what happened, and I think I, like, almost started to cry a little bit because I was nervous and I was scared. I tell her what happened, and she's freaking out. Like, she's probably the most freaked out I've ever seen her in my entire life. Like, my mom over-exaggerates a lot of stuff, but, like, and in the end, she did say she over-exaggerated this, but it was really bad, guys. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, she was freaking out, thinking I was about to go to jail. She thought, like, I ruined my life and shit. So her idea was to take me back to the school to where it all happens to see if I could explain it to whoever was showing up there. So she takes me and my friend back to the school. We show up, and there's police officer there along with our school, like, campus security guy there. And basically, they just asked me what happened. Obviously, our plan was to go into school and stay the night, but when they asked me what happened, I told them we just, like, snuck in to shoot basketball, and they believed me. They asked me how we got in, and I had showed them the door that we, like, yanked open and the alarm didn't sound, and they basically, like, told me to show them how I went in, and I did it. I yanked it open right in front of the police officer. The officer and the campus security guy just both stood there kind of looking really confused, like, oh, that door doesn't make an alarm sound when it gets yanked open, or that door doesn't lock. Like, they were very confused. But yeah, so I left out the part where I said we were going to stay the night, and I just told them that we were shooting basketball. Eventually, everything worked itself out, and the next day I had a meeting with my athletic director. It turns out my athletic director was also my basketball coach, so we had a pretty good relationship already. And in the end, he only made me and my friend do about 5 suicides at practice. We didn't get in any legal trouble or anything like that. They didn't look at any of the cameras. They never found out that we were riding scooters. They never found out once that we went into the girls' locker room. Now, if there's any staff from that school watching this today and you're finding out now, I'm very sorry. I'm not sorry that that happened because it was a really fun moment in my life, but I'm sorry that you guys never found out. If you guys were wondering, my mom did eventually calm down and it was okay in the end. But yeah, that's the story time about the time me and my best friend snuck into our high school, attempted to spend the night, and got caught before we could even make it that far. I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. This is the first time I've ever done that on my channel, so it's very new to me, and I hope you guys like it. I'm not sure how this video is going to do, but if we could aim for like 25 likes on this video, I'd appreciate it. 25 likes, could we do that? Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, man, make sure y'all leave a like. I appreciate y'all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, boys. Peace out.